Hey, friends. Welcome back, or welcome to the Don't Stifle Me podcast. My name is Jacob Stiefel. I'm a singer-songwriter from Fort Payne, Alabama, based in Nashville, Tennessee. But actually right now, I'm recording this intro and outro for this episode at a friend's house in Los Angeles, California. So how about that? Just spanning the country on this episode. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for stopping by. We got a really cool episode coming up, so I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's do it.
Pick it up again.
Today's episode is kind of a long one, but it is one of the best conversations that I've had so far in this podcast journey that we're on together. My guests are Jerry Phillips and Halley Phillips. Now, we'll get into it more in more detail in the episode, but Jerry is the son of Sam Phillips, who was the first person to record and help start the career of Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Howlin' Wolf, Carl Perkins, and many, many others. It's a long list I can't even go into right now. But I go into that with Jerry and his daughter, Halley. So without any further ado, we'll go right to it from the Sam Phillips suite in the Marriott Shoals Hotel in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Here is my talk with Jerry and Halley Phillips.
Shows Hotel Spa and Convention Center.
Oh, okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, was the incomparable Jerry Phillips. I'm here with Jerry and Halley Phillips. And if I have to say this, I'm probably going to say it in the intro, and I'm probably going to say it again in the outro. If I had met you two in a grocery store or in a garage somewhere, or and you were just average mill-working people, you would still be two of my favorite people in the whole world. However, that being said, you are not two average people. You are above average rock and roll royalty, and it is my pleasure to be sitting here. Jerry Phillips, son of Sam Phillips.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure to be sitting here with you.
And Halley, daughter of Jerry Phillips. Jerry, does it ever get exhausting being cool all the time?
It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it, though, you know. So, but
I thought of that this morning in the shower. I was like, it just must be so just exhausting being cool. I'm cool some of the time, like less than half the time I would say I'm cool, but like just all the time. I've never seen you when I thought that's not cool.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, man. I mean, I like that image of myself. If you think it's what I am, cool all the time, I think it's a pretty good image. You know, it's better than uncool all the time, I would say.
Yes, for sure. Does it I don't know, give a brief history. I feel like everybody should know this, but for people who don't know who your father was, people who are listening to this and are just oblivious that either know me or just came across it randomly, give just a synopsis of Sam Phillips.
Well, first of all, he's an Alabama native like you are. He's from Florence, Alabama, born and raised. My mother was born in Sheffield. He was in Florence, but he was the founder of Sun Record Company and Memphis Recording Service, first Memphis Recording Service. It never was. Memphis Recording Service was always Memphis Recording Service, and it never was Sun Studio. Never was called that, which is being called that now for the tourism aspect of it. But yeah, he was a pioneer guy in the music business that for people who don't really know, well, dropped some pretty heavy names: B.B. King, Howlin' Wolf, Little Milton, Roscoe Gordon, Rufus Thomas, Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Johnny Cash, Roy Orbison, Charlie Rich, Billy Riley, Sonny Burgess. The list goes on and on. That's just a partial list.
That's just off the top of your head.
That he recorded. So he did real well. You know, he worked really, really hard to open a studio and mainly he opened a studio to give black artists a chance to be heard, because in the 50s, late 40s and 50s, it was just, it was a segregated society, and he really wanted to give those people an opportunity.
Yeah, what was that thing at the Hall of Fame that, was it the Sam Phillips show or whatever that you and Noah, sorry, I'm talking to Halley, Halley and her youngest son, Noah, were up on stage announcing someone or something. Mm-hmm. And Noah, her youngest son, how old is he now?
He's just turned 8 years old.
Just turned 8. So
Yeah.
at that time he was probably 7,
Yeah,
6
he
or
was
7.
7.
And he said, he was talking about Sam, and he said they didn't like him at first because he liked black people and everybody else didn't. Or
Oh, yeah.
something
Yeah,
like
he
that
came
in front of
out
a
and-
crowd full of people.
Yeah, he was really hamming it up. He was good. I'm really proud of my great-grandfather, and, he did a lot of great things, but a lot of people didn't like him because he loved recording black people and black music, and they didn't. And I went, well, that's true. It was true. But, out of the mouths of babes sometimes, he's just like his grandfather. He's just going to say whatever the hell he wants.
It completely blew your you were about to introduce Margot Price at that point, weren't you?
I was about to
Yeah.
introduce Margot, and Noah just took over the show.
Yeah, and then I think it kind of
He got applause, though. Everybody
did,
loved it.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 I mean, he was great.
He's a trip now.
So the Sun years, what were the years that Sam was doing the thing in Memphis with all those awesome, badass people that you just listed?
Well, he opened his studio in 1950, Memphis Recording Service, and for 50 up until like 54, he recorded strictly, blues artists. It's just all he was interested in recording was blues.
Was it
artists.
around like people there in Memphis? Just he would go out and find people there, or did he bring in people from out of?
It was, there was a lot of people on Bill Street in Memphis, and then Ike Turner out of Mississippi. Was it Clarksdale? Yeah, Clarksdale. That's where he's from. He was sort of a talent scout for my dad, and he would go.
I didn't know
He would go and round these people up and tell them, "Hey, there's this white man in Memphis who you can go in there and record, and he won't charge you anything."
So was Sam just? So he was just recording them just for the sheer art of this stuff needs to be recorded.
Yeah, I mean, I think no doubt he would love to have made money. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But he also recorded when he was just to keep the doors open. Weddings and funerals, anything you wanted recorded. He'd go like, for funerals, for example. He would hide his microphones in the flower arrangements, so you couldn't
Why
see.
did people record funerals? Do they still do that?
I think they do. Yeah, you can. That's a part of a package when you die. You can get a recorded.
Sometimes
funeral.
I think it's more video, but still, I don't know if you
Yeah.
go back and watch it. But
Yeah.
I filmed my grandmother's, but I've never gone back and looked at it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many people do audio recordings of funerals. I'm not sure.
But his card said we record anything, anywhere, anytime. On his first business card that he had.
Man, I wish I could have met him.
He was a trip now.
But I feel like from the years of being a huge Elvis fan when I was a kid, and the things I've read and watched and learned about then, and then growing up and now being so close with y'all, it's kind of like I knew him. Kind of like I knew him because I know y'all so well. I feel like that's how you are so awesome, is from that bloodline.
Well, we definitely We definitely care a whole lot about continuing what he started and the independent spirit that he had and his love for music and,
Yeah, and Elvis was listening to all those blues records that he was recording, and before they ever met each other, because Dewey Phillips was on the radio, who was no relation to Sam, but just has the same last name, but they became like brothers, and he was playing all that music that my dad was recording when Little Milton, those guys, and Dewey was playing that, and Elvis was listening, and so he had a real knowledge of the blues music before he ever got to Memphis Recording Service over there. So that's why I think when his first record was "That's All Right, Mama," which was Arthur Big Boy Crudup blues song that he redid. So shows you what his roots were about.
Oh man. So when did you come along into the world? You don't have to give any exact dates, but was he still at Sun?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He worked all the time, and he had two jobs. He'd worked his way up in radio from WLAY in Muscle Shoals here.
Okay.
Then he started in radio. That's where he met my mother. My mother was on the radio with her sister. She was a ukulele player, my mother, and a singer, and her sister was a piano player. And they met at the radio station, and then my dad went from WLAY to WMSL in Decatur, Alabama, and then they got married over there in Decatur, and then he went from there, moving up in the radio world to Nashville, WLAC in Nashville, which was a pretty good job.
So did he? I wonder if he knew did he know like what he wanted to end up doing, or did he just know that he wanted to be involved in music or recording or?
I think his radio background and his background in his father was a tenant farmer, had leased land, and there was cotton growing on it, and there was black and white cotton pickers there, and he I don't know how much actual cotton he picked because he was a young man,
right?
But he heard them singing in the fields and all that kind of stuff, and really got hooked on the music, the soulful music, the soulful side of people's hardships in life, and like he said, the white people picked with a different rhythm from the black people. I mean, it was just kind of obvious. Not that one was better than the other.
Just different, yeah.
Different deal. And so that that he loved music and sound was mostly sound that he was in love with. And
just what it did with the human.
And he always said radio, for example, was took him away. His mind took him away to any place he wanted to go. In his mind.
So when he was doing the Sun stuff, was he just completely out of the radio game, or was he? Because I know now he got back. Or later on, he got back into the radio